Elmer's glue for binding?
So you sew the binding on by machine on the first side, and
Yeah,
then you literally just glue it onto the other side. So then it's more stable when you're either hand binding it
got
down
it.
or
Yeah.
machine.
And then you're
So
making sure, I imagine you're making sure the glue doesn't go all the way to the edge so it's hard, not so hard to put the needle through. Is that right?
yep, and then it just washes out when you wash the quilt.
That's really
So,
cool.
so
Like
that was great.
binding is my future tonight. So maybe I'll try that. Um, I'm way behind on the binding. Like there's a pile that's just like haunting me of things that have to get like that. I always think about my mom who, when she said we do laundry, she's like laundry isn't done until it's put away. It doesn't count unless you put it in your drawers. And I feel that way about binding. Like you're not done.
Yep.
You haven't finished the quilt because you didn't finish the binding. So that's my challenge for the night.
Yeah, the binding is typically my least favorite part of the quilting process, but the
Yeah.
Elmer's glue method, it really does make it a little bit easier, so I'm not dealing with clips everywhere at least.
Yeah, I'll try that. I really will. I'll try that tonight. My other part is I get it all back. I got the binding on and I get it all in the back done, and then I don't want to finish it. Yeah, that little so there's like little tails of like ones that aren't finished because I haven't just done that last bit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Well, if you were a member of the New Hampshire Modern Quilt Guild, we would have an incentive for you to finish
You
because
would?
for the last couple of years, we've been doing a yearly whip contest.
Yeah.
So we print out these little cards where you write your name and the project that you're trying to get finished.
Yeah.
And then if you finish it in the time period that we've assigned, then you get entered to win a gift certificate to a fabric store.
Yeah. Lovely. And so the more you finish, the more like, is that the way it works? Like,
Yep. The more you finish, the more chances you have to win.
oh my gosh, I so have to join your guild because then maybe my piles would get very different. I'd be very like, I have to do it again. I have to do more. Um, well, this is very cool. Okay, I want to talk to you about your garment making because you're the second person I've talked to that's way into garment making this week. So it's super interesting, and I'm curious. Like, on your blog, you've got homemade wardrobe. Tell me about your thoughts about making clothing and why you put it on a blog.
Sure. So when I first started making clothes, it was really just because I was hanging out with my grandmother and she was making clothes, and it was just something we did together. And then eventually I got to a point where I was trying to buy clothes in the stores, and I was like, oh, this doesn't fit great in the bust or in the shoulder. And I would tell my grandmother this, and she's like, Carolanne, you silly, you can make that. Like, just take a picture of it and we'll go find a pattern. So for me, it was really kind of empowering to like start making more of my own clothes because I could make them fit exactly how I wanted. I could find whatever prints I wanted. I love color and I love bold prints. So
Yeah, your stuff is really cool. It's really great. And how do you like? So I know this is ridiculous, but so which comes first? Do you like find fabric and then find the pattern, or do you find a pattern and then fabric? And then how often are you buying patterns now, or do you just like? How does it work for you exactly?
I think it's a little bit of both. So there is this one dress pattern called the Alizalex pattern. It's from a company called By Hand London, and I love it. I think I have 10 of it. I've made it
Yeah.
10 times. And so sometimes I'll see fabric and I'll be like, oh, I really like that fabric. I'm not sure what I want to make with it. But you know what? If I get 3 yards, I can make an Alizalex dress with it. So worst case scenario, that's my plan.
That's great. That's
And
great.
then there is a pattern company that's relatively local to me, Cashmerette. So Jenny is the owner, and she is based in the Cambridge, Somerville area. I'm not quite sure where her studio is these days, but I've done some pattern testing for her, and I took a class with her 2 Marches ago for one of her new patterns. She does online workshops, so she was testing one of them out, and so she had people, me and another woman, come in for a real life class before she did the taping. And so I love her patterns. I'm not just saying that because I get a preview of them usually, but they are really good and they come in cup sizes, so they fit really well.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very cool. And how long does it take you usually to make an outfit?
I would say that it depends on what I'm making. Like last Saturday, I made like a circle skirt with an elastic in the back, but not in the front. And that
Uh-huh.
took like an hour and a half.
That's really cool.
But if I'm making like a lined dress with a hand-picked lap zipper and
Right.
full
You're all like
lining,
super fancy.
yeah. So it can take, I could bang out a tank top or a skirt in like an hour and a half, but then a dress might take 8 hours or 12 hours, depending on how complicated it is.
Now, do you shop for? Are you just all about your own clothing, or do you ever go shopping for clothing? Are you just like it's just better to make your own clothing because you get to actually pick everything, or do you?
I would say that I mostly make my own clothes now, but currently I'm wearing a shirt that I made, but I'm wearing jeans and a sweater from J. Crew.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a combo. I do love the cardigans from J. Crew. I probably have one in every color, so I definitely go there to increase my cardigan collection whenever I need a new one.
That's really great.
But yeah, I just love making my own stuff. Or I used to be really into vintage, so I'll still shop vintage clothes on occasion.
Cool. Now, who is your photographer? How are you? Is it stable? Is it? Do you have someone doing your like?
So it varies, but a lot of the times it's my younger sister Emily.
Uh-huh.
She is 20 and she takes a lot of my pictures. Or there are a few guys at work who I will have come out into the natural light to take my pictures sometimes.
Very sweet.
One of them, his name is John, and he took my picture once, and then I submitted the photo for a contest and I ended up winning. So I was like, that's it, John, you're my photographer now.
I like that. I like that a lot. So tell me a little bit about, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your day job, and how you can help us understand sort of the world we live in. Because tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So I work at We Do, which is a digital marketing agency in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I guess the easiest way to say this is I play on Facebook for work a lot, but in a very strategic way. So I write content calendars and I do market research and I place ads and I check website analytics to make sure that the ads are performing the way they should be. And then depending on the client, we do a lot of different things. So if you've ever been to New Hampshire, we are known for our state-run liquor stores. And so they're one of our clients. So like last night I went to a wine tasting at an art museum and it was great. I did Facebook Live as part of my job. But then I also checked people in who had pre-purchased their tickets. So I do a lot of different things in the digital world, and it's incredibly fun.
Yeah, interesting. This project we've been doing a lot of talking about social. I teach social media law and advertising law, so that's part of why I'm interested in all of it. But so as part of this ridiculous experiment, we have a Facebook group, and as you know. And we're starting to think about other things. But it sort of really becomes very clear very quickly that where the world used to be, marketing used to be kind of important, but a kind of side thing to a business, like it's all about the social media. Like every time I talk to someone, it's sort of like either they feel guilty they're not doing it enough, or it's super important to them, or like how much do you see with businesses how that they're putting emphasis on their digital marketing?
So I think it varies a little bit by business, how much emphasis you need to put on. But if you have since it is a very visual thing, but for some of our clients, it's more like they need to be there because that's where their customers are coming to ask questions.
Yeah.
Like they're not really engaging very much on like the day-to-day post, but they're sending messages saying, "Oh, well, where is this or what time is this?" So it's very much about being where your customers are. So, I said this to a client recently that, Snapchat might seem cool, but it might seem cool to you on a personal level. It might not make the most sense for your business.
Oh my gosh,
it just really depends.
Oh, wait. So I have adorable law students, right? And sometimes they say really ridiculous things. So they were like, talking about that we've been doing more Facebook Live and it's really fun and like we'll be at an event and we'll do it. And then they were like, well, if you're going to be doing like live events, well, how about Twitch? Be on Twitch. And I'm like, well, that's great, but like we're quilters and there's not a lot like we're still trying to get to like the people listening to the podcast and like being on Facebook. We're gonna add Instagram, but like Twitch seemed a pretty big jump is all I'm saying. like trying to explain. Yeah, it was like we're not gonna go on a gaming platform at the moment. So
yeah, exactly. It's who you want to talk to are the
right.
people that you want to be talking to on there already, because if they're not already on there, they're probably not going to come just for one person.
Yeah, exactly. What's interesting, we also took this poll. So when we started of like, what do you guys want, right? So as we grow this quilt, we call them, as you know, the quilting army. And what do you guys want? Do you want to be on, Instagram? Do you want to be on Twitter, LinkedIn, all that? And we got sort of, nobody really wanted Twitter. And the one that kind of really sort of amazed me was nobody wanted Pinterest. Do you see like are people using Pinterest, or like what's the role of, I don't know if you do much in Pinterest in your job, but I was kind of surprised that people were like, yeah, we're not interested in that really.
Yeah. So, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but again, it depends on the client. So I do have some that use Pinterest. Like one of my clients is about helping make your home more energy efficient. So Pinterest is a perfect match for them. We give design ideas and tips on how to make your home more efficient. We get a lot of website traffic through it. And then we use it for the Quilt Guild too. We have a Quilt Guild lending library. And so we have all the books that are in the lending library up on a Pinterest board. And then that's how people can request through the coordinator how to get them out of the lending library, which is at her house.
That's really great. Have you had any of your businesses using Pinterest for business purposes? Do you see it as a platform like for sales, or is it really more just is it become more commercialized, I guess?
It can definitely be used for sales. So this might be a little bit surprising, but I've done quite a bit of research into Pinterest, and it's actually men who are buying more from it, not women. So really? Women are using Pinterest to kind of keep track of things like, oh, I want to make this for dinner. I want to buy this fabric. But men are actually going on and they're pinning items that they definitely want to buy. And then they're going back to their pin boards, clicking through to the website and then buying it online because they're using it as like their reminder to make the purchase.
Really interesting.
And there are promoted pins. So like a sewing pattern company, for example, they could have their pattern pin. They could have it set up to be promoted when somebody searches for like sewing patterns. And then it would have like a little banner on the side that says how much it costs. And if you click through, it is a Pinterest driven conversion. So it is a very valuable tool for driving sales.
Now, is Pinterest using like any kind of affiliate linking? Like if you have something on your page that then if they click through that, sort of like Amazon, do they do that? Do they do affiliate linking with their Pinterest pages?
I'm not
do you
sure.
do much with affiliate linking? We're just learning about affiliate linking. And for those listening, affiliate linking really is like kind of a new marketing tool. Maybe not new, but like when you have a link and you click on it, it's got a cookie that like identifies that it originates from your website, and so you get a tiny percentage of it. That's like the Amazon does it. Lots and lots of places do it. So I'm wondering if Pinterest does anything like that. If people are, I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I wonder if it would depend on the person and what kind of tracking they set up on their own individual website.
Yeah.
Because I can see people doing that. Like we add tracking data to every URL that we put out on social media for clients. So that way we can check in the back end and see, okay, 20% of our website visitors came from Pinterest or 10% came from Twitter.
Interesting.
And then that helps make decisions about where we're going to put emphasis in the upcoming months. So for one client, we noticed a pretty big spike in Twitter in the month of January. So we reallocated some of our advertising dollars to Twitter from Facebook
really
for the following month.
That's really interesting. And do you see, like, do you're tracking through links? Are you also, do you have customers that are using affiliate linking to make money or not? Like, is that not something that's happening? Like, how much do you see affiliate linking in on your side of it?
I honestly don't see it very much at all.
Interesting.